Today, we're assembling the Delta 3D printer. 3 quick rules before we begin. Avoid power tools to prevent stripping. Always apply blue thread locker. And check that your M4 lock washer teeth face the right way. Let's dive in. Step 1. Column assembly. Pass an M4x10 socket screw with a washer through a metal corner bracket. Add thread locker and loosely thread on a Type 30 M4 T-nut. Slide in a 30-30 long extrusion flush with the bracket, then tighten. Repeat for the other end, keeping the distance between brackets at exactly 750 millimeters. Assemble all 3 columns. Step 2. Crossbeam assembly. On a flat surface, attach Type 20 M4 T-nuts to the brackets using M4 screws and washers with thread locker. Slide in 2 20-40 short extrusions, smooth side facing out. Tighten the inner screw first, align it smooth, then lock the outer screw. Assemble the top and bottom beams, noting the top extrusions mount underneath the upper brackets. Give every screw a final tight check. Step 3. Motor assembly. Attach vibration dampers to all 6 stepper motors. Secure each motor to a corner bracket using M3x10 screws, making sure the wiring connectors face inward. Tighten just until flush with the damper. Install 3 motors at the bottom and 3 at the top. Important final step. Once assembled, let the frame sit for 24 hours to allow the thread locker to fully cure.
Welcome back! Today, we're assembling the bottom frame of our Delta 3D printer. 2 quick tips before we start. First, don't over-tighten screws into 3D printed parts to avoid cracking them. Second, for brass knurled inserts, use a soldering iron to gently press them into place. Got your tools ready? Let's get right into it. Step 1. Lower foot covers. Pass an M5x16 socket screw through a rubber foot pad and thread it into the printed cover. Insert 2 M3x10 socket screws with Type 20 M3 T-nuts loosely attached. Mount this onto the short extrusion, make sure the T-nuts catch inside the groove, and don't over-tighten. Repeat for the other 2 foot covers. Step 2. Left skirt panels. Using your soldering iron, heat set 3 brass knurled nuts into the left skirt print. Add M3x8 countersunk screws with Type 20 M3 T-nuts, then slide and lock the panel onto the short extrusion. Repeat for the remaining 2 left skirt panels. Step 3. Power switch assembly. Heat set 1 knurled nut into the right skirt switch cover. Snap the power switch securely into the housing. Add 2 M3x8 countersunk screws with T-nuts and mount the unit onto the short extrusion. Step 4 and 5. Right and middle skirt panels. Heat set the knurled nuts into the right and middle skirt prints. Add M3x8 countersunk screws and T-nuts to each piece without tightening, then secure them onto the short extrusions. Double-check your alignment and pay close attention to your power switch position. Step 6. Touchscreen display. Heat set 2 knurled nuts into the screen bracket and attach M3x8 countersunk screws with T-nuts. Gently place the touchscreen inside the bracket. Now, carefully snap the front bezel onto the screen. Be gentle and watch your angle to avoid damaging the display. Once clipped in, mount the completed assembly onto the short extrusion. Step 7. Electronics and power supply. Place the switching power supply onto the bottom plate, flip it over, and secure it with 4 M4x10 socket screws. Next, place the solid-state relay, the SSR, onto the electronics panel, paying close attention to its orientation. Secure it with 2 M3x10 screws and lock nuts, then lock the entire bottom plate to the base using 12 M3x8 countersunk screws. Wrap up, flip the printer upright and check your layout. The touchscreen should face forward with the power supply and SSR on the front right side. Welcome to Part 3, Transmission Assembly. Step 1. Guide rail assembly. Support a linear guide rail using 2 printed rail guides. Insert 8 M3x10 cap head screws through the rail.
one screw every 2 holes. At the bottom, install the printed linear rail stop using an M3 by 14 cap screw. Loosely thread 9 Type 30 M3 T-nuts onto all screws. Place the assembly onto the long extrusion, making sure the T-nuts sit inside the groove and the rail stop is at the bottom. Keep the printed rail guides on to center the rail and prevent the slider carriage from falling off. Tighten all M3 by 10 screws, making sure each T-nut turns 90 degrees and locks securely inside the groove. Slide the carriage back and forth to check for smooth movement, then remove the printed guides. Repeat for all 3 rails. Step 2. Slider assembly. Thread a 2GT open-end timing belt up toward the stepper motor and seat both ends into the timing pulley groove. Wrap both ends around the metal connecting slider, secure them tightly with cable ties, and trim off the excess. Place a printed slider pad against the metal slider. Then drive 2 M3 by 20 cap screws into the linear rail carriage. Apply blue thread locker to 2 M3 by 14 cap screws. Secure the metal ball joint connector and snap the printed decorative block on top. Repeat for the remaining 2 sliders. Step 3. Transmission adjustment. Attach the printed belt tension adjuster onto the 2GT belt and pull it taut using a cable tie. Manually slide the metal carriage up and down, watching carefully to ensure the belt does not rub against the edges of the motor pulley. If the belt rubs or gets stuck, loosen and adjust the 2 parallel mounting screws on the stepper motor to fine-tune its angle until the belt runs centered and smooth. Finally, install a torsion spring onto the belt to maintain consistent preload tension. Repeat these tuning steps for all 3 columns.
Part 4. Upper Assembly. Step 1. Limit switch assembly. Place a photoelectric limit switch into its mount and secure it with 2 M3 by 8 countersunk screws. Route the wire out from the right side so the motor won't pinch it. Add 2 M3 by 8 screws with Type 20 M3 T-nuts, then mount it onto the top short profile. Make sure the metal slider flag aligns right in the center of the optical sensor slit before tightening. Repeat for the other 2 limit switches. Step 2. Upper skirt corner covers. Insert 2 M3 by 10 cap head screws through a corner cover and attach 2 Type 20 M3 T-nuts loosely. Mount it onto the top short profile, check that the T-nuts catch inside the groove, and tighten down. Repeat for the remaining 2 corner covers. Steps 3 through 5. Upper skirt panels. Using your soldering iron, heat set brass inserts into the left, right, and middle skirt prints. Add M3 by 8 countersunk screws with Type 20 M3 T-nuts. Then lock all skirt panels securely into the short profile grooves without over-torquing. Step 6. Top plate and electronics. Now for the Spider motherboard and CPAP cooling unit. Heat set 3 brass inserts into the base plate connector and attach it to the top plate using M3 by 8 countersunk screws. Mount short isolation columns, then install the Spider motherboard and CPAP driver board. Mount the CPAP fan using long isolation columns. Snap the air duct into the retention clips and complete your wiring, including the yellow, red, and black DuPont wires. Now add M3 by 8 screws with T-nuts to the top plate and mount the entire assembly to the upper frame. Important, check the orientation so that the Spider motherboard is positioned toward the front. Confirm all T-nuts are locked properly in the grooves, then tighten everything down. Awesome job! The top frame, optical switches, motherboard, and CPAP cooling unit are all locked in and ready to go. Welcome to Part 5, Effector Assembly. Step 1. Hot end and effector mounting. Pass 2 M3 by 10 cap screws through a metal ball joint connector. Add thread locker and lock it onto the effector plate with self-locking nuts using a wrench. Repeat for all 3 connectors. Cut a 14mm piece of PTFE tubing to use as an alignment guide, seat the print head onto the plate, and secure it with 4 M2.5 by 6 screws. Route the wiring cleanly through the center opening. Step 2. Extruder assembly. Press an MR85 bearing into the back plate. Slide the main gear onto the POM gear shaft, tighten its grub screw against the flat spot, and add the second MR85 bearing. Heat set a brass insert into the extruder body. Fit the POM gear assembly into the body, add nylon spacers, and lock the lower holes with 2 M3 by 20 cap screws. Add upper nylon spacers and secure the body, stepper motor, and CPAP mount using 2 M3 by 35 screws. Grease the needle bearings, fit them into the idler arm, slide the shaft through, and mount the extruder onto the effector using 2 M3 by 14 cap screws. Add the tension thumb screw with its spring and washer. Steps 3 and 4. Cooling duct and cable arrangement. Mount the duct connector to the heatsink using M3 by 10 screws. Snap the logo into the front cover, place the duct guide underneath, and secure it to the connector with 2 M3 by 14 screws. Attach the fixing columns. Insert the air blocking ring and lock it down with 2 M2.5 by 6 screws. Guide the cables cleanly into corrugated split tubing using the threader tool and zip tie it to the CPAP mount. Step 5. Connecting rods and parallel arms. Generously apply lithium grease or Vaseline inside the spoon socket joints of all 6 rods. This is vital for friction-free movement. Join pairs of spoon rods together using 2 tension springs per arm to pull the joints firmly into place. Snap on optional decorative sleeves if you have them. Step 6. Pipeline and Bowden tube. Connect the CPAP air supply hose to the duct guide. Press a 20mm piece of PTFE tube into the top extruder entry hole to prevent filament wear. Tuck the cable sleeve into the top plate and bind the CPAP hose and cable sleeve together using pipe clips. And you're all done.
Welcome to Part 6, Heated Bed Assembly. Step 1. Heated bed support and steel ball mounts. Pass an M4 by 8 button head screw through a printed bed mount and thread it into an M4 threaded steel ball. Tighten securely, then repeat for all 3 mounts. Insert 2 M3 by 14 cap head screws into each mount with Type 20 M3 T-nuts loosely attached and slide them onto the short aluminum extrusions. Place the aluminum bed plate on top. Cautionary, ensuring the counterboard screw holes are facing upward. Fine-tune the mount positions until the bed fits tightly on the steel balls with 0 gaps, then lock down all M3 by 14 screws. Steps 2 and 3, side and rear bed baffles. Attach the 2 side baffles and the rear baffle to the short extrusions using M3 by 8 countersunk screws and Type 20 M3 T-nuts. Make sure the T-nuts rotate 90 degrees inside the profile grooves before tightening gently. Step 4. Thermal fuse, silicone heater pad, and PEI surface. Install the thermal cutoff fuse onto the aluminum bed plate using an M3 by 10 cap screw and a self-locking nut, making sure the screw head sits flush inside the counterboard hole. Peel and stick the mains-powered silicone heating pad onto the underside of the bed, centered, with the cable exit right next to the fuse. Then connect the wiring harness. Flip the aluminum bed plate over to the top side. Carefully apply the magnetic sticker to smooth out any air bubbles, and place your PEI spring steel build sheet right on top. And that completes the heated bed assembly.
Welcome to the final chapter of our Delta 3D printer build. Step 1. Wiring connections and pre-power check. Connect the power cables, high-temperature SSR wires, thick main power lines, fine signal wires, and the USB Type-A to Type-C cable according to the diagram. Perform a thorough visual check of every wire before assembling outer covers. While we're knocking out these repetitive steps, if you ever feel stuck during the wiring phase, don't worry. There's a super clear, high-res wiring diagram over at the link on screen, and I've also dropped the direct link in the video description. Steps 2 and 3, wire management and outer flanges. Route the heated bed cable into the rear baffle groove. Secure the loom with cable ties and snip the excess. Snap the Type-C clip into its buckle. Route motor cables through the foot covers and press wires into profile slots using printed 3030 and 2020 profile covers. Interlock the upper, lower, and middle flange pieces, then lock them to the outer slots of the long 3030 extrusions using M4 by 10 screws and Type 30 T-nuts. Do not over-tighten. Steps 4 and 5, electronics cooling fans and CPAP silencer. Secure two 4010 cooling fans onto the bracket using 4 M3 by 14 screws and mount it right above the motherboard. Since the CPAP fan spins at nearly 30,000 RPM, insert a muffler pad into the silencer body and snap the silencer ring onto the air intake to dramatically cut down high-pitched noise.
Step 6, top cover plate and spool holder. Cut a 90mm section of PTFE tube and insert it into the base connector. Heat set 3 brass inserts into the cover connector, attach top cover plates using M3 by 8 countersunk screws, and pass the PTFE tube through the center. Mount your spool holder on either the side or top frame, and you're ready to load filament. Congratulations! You have officially completed the entire assembly of your Delta 3D printer. From the frame structure to the high-speed CPAP effector and custom wiring, your machine is built, cleaned, silent, and ready to print. Power it up, run your calibration, and happy printing.